James Olokesusi on transformation exposure. Your level of exposure determines how far you go in life. I've always said that. And I believe that your exposure to all of these things we are teaching is going to challenge you to take great steps towards advancing your life. See, your life is so precious to us because that's why we are called to give you a push, because we know you must have added of some of these principles before. We're just trying to remind you and as much as to give you a push so that you can press the button so that you can take the right steps towards advancement in life. Trust I met you well. Once again, my name is James Olokesusi. On this 30-day challenge, with James Olokesusi, I'm so pleased to be here once again. And I believe you had a great time with us yesterday. You've watched out of the six, the one, the two, the three, the four, the five, the six. So it's been a great time. And we've been talking so much about systemic change. We've been talking so much about venture to institution. But we've been taking it bit by bit because we have a lot of long days. So we are laying foundations. We are laying the foundation, so that we are building on it gradually. We've been talking about wealth creation, and we are building step by step, and we believe that you're going to get a lot of value. You are getting value already because I believe you're getting value already. Transformation is a function of information. What you know determines what you do. Knowing shapes your doing, and your doing shapes your reality. So that's what it works. Because life itself is like a blank canvas. We write with it with our actions or inactions. So today I'm going to be talking to us about something that we're going to start a series that has to do with identifying opportunities in a dynamic economy like ours. Identifying opportunities. The caption should be that we'll be talking about in the next 4 or 5 days is about business thinking, and opportunity recognition. Business thinking and opportunity recognition. But out of it, the first part of it I'll be talking about today, the caption today is identifying opportunities in a dynamic economy like ours, because we need to understand that opportunities are everywhere, but recognizing it is not easy. Sometimes when you think opportunities are scarce, no. So most times it is our ability to recognize the opportunity that is deficient, and that is the challenge. I've always said a story of how a white man came to Nigeria one time, and he was shouting while he was in a cab. He was saying, "Why opportunities everywhere?" And the driver could not even understand what he was saying, because he was saying, "Where's the opportunity? There's no opportunity anywhere." Let me tell you, right, even in that village where some people are migrating back to Lagos, there are opportunities there. There's opportunity everywhere. Let me tell you, my brother, my sister, and everyone watching me, there are opportunities everywhere. So I wanted to talk a lot about it today, how to recognize opportunities, because I believe that there's a lot that is going to change if you can understand the techniques in understanding identifying opportunities. Because what's opportunities? Opportunities are problems that people are willing to pay for the solution. Opportunities are problems that people are willing to pay for the solution. The fact that somebody can sell food that I can buy and eat. Somebody has quenched my hunger. So it's an opportunity to that person. There's a problem, and I'm willing to pay for anybody who can cook a good food for me and I can eat. And that's why you see people ordering foods and lots of that. It's an opportunity that a lot of people discover and they were able to identify. Because let me tell you, life itself, sight itself is a bit a translate. Sight itself cannot translate our reality into a useful insight. But perception, that's where perception is different from sight. I told you, sight itself alone cannot translate our reality into a useful insight. But perception is what it can turn what we see into a life applicable meaning. Perception itself can turn what we see into a life applicable meaning. I'm going to explain in a moment. A lot of times you have been passing certain area and you have been seeing a blue building. You never even imagine, you never even make any sense out of it. A lot of time there will be a day when you take a good look at that building very well, or you now perceive, you say, oh, so a blue building has always been here. So that's what you perceive. You are seeing a lot of things around you, but it's not making any sense to you. You can't turn into a useful insight. But when you perceive, that's when it becomes life applicable meaning. A lot of opportunities that are available all around, Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Africans are not even seeing it. But until you begin to perceive, that's where the difference is. When you begin to perceive, that's when there's going to be a change. That's when there's going to be a difference, in the old person. Personally, what changes the game. So I want to encourage you today, because there is opportunity. There are opportunities everywhere, because when you what how we see it is what makes the difference, or how to recognize the keen eye to recognize opportunities. That's where the challenge is. Quickly, let me give you about 4 nudges that will help us to recognize opportunity. The first thing is that you have to at look at a daily need, a daily problem. Look at a daily need or daily problem that people are suffering for. Looking at a daily need, like food, like power, like transportation. Look at daily needs, like food. Somebody saw, that there's a need for food. People want to eat and they can't even come to a canteen themselves or come to restaurants themselves. They begin to order, and somebody created an ambience where you can order food. Can you see that? Somebody saw that opportunity and saw that need, and they turning into such. Some people see that transportation, that has been hustling and bustling, in transportation. Most time when there is a rush hour, people are struggling here and there. In fact, in those days of downfall, and you see pickpockets taking your money and lots of that. A lady in 2016 who came to Lagos to come and work after finishing university, and she was saying the same thing. She came from Ibadan, and she was saying the same thing. How people were doing hustling and bustling, and she thought to herself, what about if you create a shuttle that can be taking office people to their work, just like a staff bus, a commercial staff bus that can be taking people to work and bring them back full of AC and lots of that. And she came up with that idea of a shuttler. Her name is Damilola Olukesusi, and she became a CEO of a shuttler, a company that about 2-3 years after, she got an investment all to the tune of almost $1 million. So she became a big time. At one point, they had about 300 buses already, and extending to Abuja and other cities in Nigeria, because a lady, not even a guy, saw a problem in transportation, and she was able to weigh in. She started with 2 buses, in those days, took some loans and lots of that, and that's it. That's what it is. Opportunities are everywhere. How are you able to see them? That's what matters. And in the journey of wealth creation, you must be able to recognize opportunities and be able to turn them into a life applicable meaning, and make sure they are able to be useful. So in the area of power, you see some stuff, people who are becoming a charging station, or some people who have been able to, a friend of mine was trying to get, looking at the rural area. They have no much power bank, no more supplies. She's trying to be supplying power banks to the villages, power banks to villages. That's it. So what is that problem? Even in the village, there are opportunities there. There are opportunities there. It's just that we have this idea, like somebody said, Nigeria is full of opportunities, but they are unstructured opportunities. Nigeria is full of opportunities everywhere, but they are unstructured opportunities. So you need to crack it yourself. You need to crack it yourself. So the next thing is that, having understood that, the next thing that you have to look at, what are people complaining about every day? What are those things that people are complaining about every day? People are complaining about artisans that are not really delivering. The people are complaining about people that are not really. They are complaining about things. What are people? Think about what people are complaining about. People are complaining about artisans who are not acting professionally. You can start a training for artisans. You can start a training for artisans. What are those people? Things people are complaining about every day. You can still talk about this power. You can talk about this food. You can talk about. So look at what people are complaining around you about around you every day. So it can be an opportunity Because opportunity are problems that people are willing to pay for. Problems that people are willing to pay for. So look at the people complaining about every day. And number three is that look at things that people are willing to pay for, or they are paying for already. Look at what people are paying for already. Look at those things that are, instead of you trying to invent or yes new things, look at what are they paying for already. Like in the POS, they're paying for that service already. Look at other areas, things that people think about it in the market. What you're going to do is that take a tour or a movement around Lagos, come back, you're going to get about 10 ideas. About 10 ideas. See, let me tell you, if you can move around Lagos and you can't come up with ideas, it shows that the problem is not about opportunities. The problem is the recognition. So look at, that's number three now, is about look at what people are paying for already. Because if they are paying for it already, then you just need to really innovate, do it better, let it get better. So agency, people are getting agency, paying for agency already. That's a house agent already, and some even have been duping them. So you can bring up a well-structured agency or real estate, agency whereby you put it in a well-documented, credible one. So look at what people are paying for already. And the last one is look at the gaps in quality services, gaps in delivery, gaps in delivery. So you can look at what are the needs in the area of logistics. You see, a lot of times, a lot of people have been delivering with these bikes with that uses fuel. A certain company came up with a bike that are using electricity, rechargeable bikes, and it makes it more efficient because the cost of delivery reduces because they don't need to pay for fuel just to recharge the bikes. Not bicycle, bikes. And they just keep moving on without even making noise. So a lot of people are seeing a lot of stuff like this. What are the gaps in the market? Look at the gaps. Look at what is not being delivered very well. Look at all of those things and see a way to get it done better. Those are opportunities. See, let me tell you, idea rules the world. Idea rules the world. But if you're going to do well in wealth creation, you must create value. And how do you create value? Is by you identifying opportunities. Look at things that can better our society. Look at how you can improve our society. So that's the way it works. That's the way it works. See, you have to look at all of these things because opportunities are everywhere. Never say there's no opportunity in Nigeria. Never say there's no opportunity in Ghana. Never say there's no opportunity in Uganda. There are opportunities everywhere. How are you able to recognize them? How are you able to recognize the keen eye for recognition? The rich people will say opportunity comes but once. Let me tell you, opportunities comes but once to only those who cannot recognize. A lot of time when we talk about opportunities, a lot of people are only thinking about when somebody gives you money or somebody gives you a job. That's when the opportunities. You can create opportunities yourself. You can create a lot of opportunities yourself. In your industry, in your field, in your skill, you can create opportunities. You don't have to live by your skill or your profession you learned in school. You can learn some few things and begin to improve in that area and create opportunities in that aspect. So opportunities are everywhere. Have a keen eye for recognition of opportunities. A lot of time we are only seeing things, we're not perceiving. That's why I said earlier that sight alone cannot translate realities, things we are seeing, into a useful insight. It is perception. Perception is what can convert what we see into a life applicable meaning. Perception. Look deeply. Look deeply into things. A lot of people are looking for jobs here and there. They are looking for jobs. I bet you. They're not looking for a job. Go look for work. Don't look for work. How to make impact. Work is about making impact. Job is all about salary. Stop looking for a job. Start looking for work to make impact. See what is the problem you can solve. Think about how you can solve it. Then money will flow. Money flows in direction of value. Money flows in direction of value. Stop looking for jobs here and there. Look for work. Look for how you can solve problems. That's what opportunities are. Opportunity. A lot of times we are looking for, all these are young graduates. Some years ago I used to have trainings with NYC in NYC camps and NYC CDS and lacks of that. I've training all of those people. Each time these young people are chunked out from school, they have these high hopes all about their job somewhere and lacks of that. It's all about job to them. I think we need to begin to recalibrate the minds to keep seeing that it's not just about job, it's about solving problems. The society doesn't need more people that are looking for jobs. They are looking for somebody who can solve problems, somebody who is interested in solving problems. So that's why you can get soft skill that can make you to solve pain points. Solve pain points. So look for work by recognizing opportunities. See how things can be done better. See, that's where the weight continues, because that's where you begin to create streams of income. Even when you're working somewhere or you have a job already, keep opening streams of incomes through recognizing opportunity in your working place. There are opportunities to get things better, and for your opportunities to do better, whatever you are doing or the state at which you are doing the operations in your working place, there are opportunities you can do it better. You can do it better. There are opportunities. Open your eyes. See, let me tell you, a man loses everything the day he stops recognizing opportunity. Dangote saw that there was opportunity in creating a refinery that can convert our crude oil into finished product. At first, he joined Otedola to buy Nigerian refinery, but Yar'Adua reversed the deal, and the man still pushed forward. There are opportunities. There are opportunities in this country. You might not be able to start things at that large scale. Start from small, where you are. What are the minutest opportunities? Though there might be challenges in the process of you trying to convert opportunities into idea, from idea into a tangible product. There might be challenges, but stick to it. It doesn't start. Tesla we see today of Elon Musk, it didn't just come into being out of the thin air. No, he went through different processes. And today we are celebrating Elon Musk. So there are opportunities. See those opportunities. See what the pain points of people. Look at how you can take advantage of those 4 things I talked about in terms of the daily pains of the people. Get it. What are the complaints of the people? What are those things people are paying for already? And what are the gaps in the service delivery? So look at all those things and begin to work out opportunities. I believe that you are going to come up with several ideas. Think about it. In the next 7 days, keep thinking about what are things that people are willing to pay for. What are the pain points? What are the opportunities? Even in your area there, no matter how rural or in your urban or in the city, anywhere you live, there, even in the village, there are opportunities. There are a lot of farm produce coming from the village to the city. How can you be a broker to many other companies? How can you even sell to the diaspora? There are opportunities everywhere. How many of them are you recognizing? So that's what I have for you today. I believe that God will open your eyes to see opportunities in whatever you are doing, even what you are doing already. There are potentials. In those days, let me end up with this story. In those days, I was as a young person, I believed that I studied accounting. I don't believe that I could learn some skill and build a system with it and make a lot of money from it, because I just believed that I had to go and learn plumbing from a friend of mine in those days. And while we were talking and lots of that, and we discovered that even as a plumber, they can begin to get contracts from filling stations, because it's all about laying pipes. They have always thought that traditional plumber is just about laying pipes in the houses. But the guy, we're talking, when we're deliberating, we just discovered that even as a plumber, we can begin to run pipes in the filling station. We can begin to take contracts in filling station. It's all about just understanding the dynamics. So opportunities beyond whatever you are delivering in terms of your skill. There are many other things. The problem you are solving with your skill can solve a higher level of problem if you recognize, if you are able to see or perceive detailed opportunities in it. I believe that if you take your time, have a strategic thinking time, you're surely going to get that. And that's how what is created. What is created by thinking and thinking deeply. Stay blessed. I want to encourage you to subscribe and like, press the like button so that many people can watch what we're doing. Same time by tomorrow, we're going to be day 8. We'll meet you by 9 o'clock. Stay blessed. Make sure you're watching all that we are doing. and you are learning and appropriating them. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.